welcome to the first episode of a survival let's play series. My name is Rafa and this is actually my first video ever made, as I decided to start uploading content to my YouTube channel. So that means that some of you will be the lucky ones to count themselves among my first viewers ever. That aside, today's plan as we are starting a brand new world is to gather some resources that we will use later on, to find a spot where we will build a house for ourselves so that we have a place to sleep and to store all of our stuff, and to figure out what we will do in the next episode. If you want to know my world seed, I will have it displayed on the screen so you can generate your own world and maybe share what you create on it with the rest of us. If you don't know what Minecraft is, well basically it's a survival game that allows players to build with a variety of different blocks. You can think of this world as being made of Lego, so as long as you are creative you can make lots of fun and interesting projects. Other activities in the game include exploration, crafting and combat. In order to craft and build stuff, you must first gather the resources you need. As you can see, I've already gathered enough wood to make a crafting table, which allows me to make a basic wooden pickaxe. Although not the most efficient, wooden tools are needed so you can get your hands on a few blocks of cobblestone that are required for crafting your next tier of tools. And that's exactly what we'll do next, because we'll have to build a starter house this episode, and gathering the resources necessary for that task with inefficient wooden tools will cause me a premature death. We're gonna take a few blocks of cobblestone from this cliffside right now, but we won't waste too much time on this. We're only taking enough for the tool upgrade. When we have the tools and a couple of other essential items, such as food and torches, we can consider digging a mine and getting enough stone for the foundation of our house. There are other useful items we can find while digging, such as iron, which will be useful for upgrading our tools even further, and which will allow us to mine diamonds in case we find any. We might be able to find other useful items, but we'll talk about them when we get there. For now we'll just craft a stone pickaxe and a stone axe because they are faster than the wooden ones, as well as a stone sword, just in case we run into monsters and we have to defend ourselves. Right, so not far from the spawn location, as I wandered around trying to find a suitable spot to settle, I managed to find an area near a lake, which I think is a good place to build our starter house. We have plenty of space and a nice lake next to us, the terrain is leveled, and I even got my eyes set on a place that I think I'll turn into a mine. But before that, we have to put some time into chopping down these trees around here and clear out the area a little bit. So I'll do that right now and come back to you in a second. Before we do anything else, we should craft ourselves a bed. Luckily there were a few sheep nearby and I did get the wool we needed to craft one. Now we can sleep through the night and avoid monsters spawning around us. Next we'll craft a boat that I'll use in a second to show you where I want to build the mine. Then we'll craft a couple of chests to store our items, and in the end all we need to do is to place them nearby. Now to show you where I want to build the mine, we'll hop in this boat and paddle our way across the lake right to this area over here. I don't have any particular reason for choosing this location other than the fact that I think it looks cool, or at least I hope it will look cool in the future once we'll build a nice entrance to it and decorate it a little. For now we'll just stick to the essentials, maybe I'll just dig a little bit down, but I won't be able to start mining right away, because before I do this I'll need to craft some torches and get some cooked food on me. As you can see, without torches we won't be able to see where we are mining, not to mention that if I were to keep this up and venture further, monsters would start spawning in the dark. And without any light, armor or food, that's a threat we're not quite ready to take on. So I'll head back up and get back to you shortly. And with these bits of food in our inventory, we can head back to our mine and start digging. And as I find mining boring to watch, I'll do a time-lapse with the next hour and a half, and hopefully this way it will be more entertaining for you, and hopefully we'll be able to find some diamonds as well. During this time-lapse, I thought I'll use this time to talk to you about what motivated me to start a YouTube channel and maybe how I envision this whole thing. To be honest, I wanted to do something else besides my main job, but given the messy work schedule that my job has, my options were really limited. Besides that, splitting my time between jobs and finding enough time for recreation would be very hard, and because of that, I thought I should try and find something that I'll enjoy doing. So this concludes my thought process for choosing YouTube as something I'll do in my spare time. I think it's great being able to combine work with something entertaining, and I hope that in the future this will lead to something that doesn't feel like working at all. What I would do isn't something original, but I often found myself having to wait for my favorite YouTubers to upload more content. And if you find yourself in the same situation, then I hope I can satisfy your needs to have something to watch as you eat in front of your screens. I'm hoping to create something entertaining for you that also has a progressive feeling to it. I must say that only after I settled my mind on this, I realized that this feels like a colossal effort for someone like me, because I'm someone who's never done a single video before in his life. This would be the first obstacle that I'd stumble upon, and it did really start to make me lose interest in taking up the challenges of becoming a YouTuber, but in spite of that I pushed myself into learning a thing or two about video making. Usually if I decide to do something, then I try my best and my hardest to make it work, and if it still doesn't work, well then, at least I know I did all I could and I won't regret it later for not doing it or not trying hard enough. However, one thing that really motivated me in learning how to edit and create videos was the potential of YouTube of being able to bind people together that enjoy the same things and form communities. I think it would be wonderful if you guys would leave suggestions for me about things I could do to improve my videos, whether it's about the video you're watching right now or the future ones. I already have lots of ideas about what to build in the next episodes and a general idea of what I want this map to contain. Mainly, I want to keep a medieval style throughout the series and have a castle surrounded by walls. I want it to have some sort of port nearby, as well as some fantasy style elements. Besides all these things, we'll build lots of farms to help us gather resources, such as an iron farm, a general mob farm, we'll have super smelters, cobblestone generators, item sorters, and hopefully lots of other ideas suggested by you as well. But we'll talk about them in detail when we get there. Here's one interesting idea for you. If you ever thought about starting your own YouTube channel but for some reason you didn't do it, then maybe you'll be curious about the growth of a newly made channel, so feel free to tag along and see how things progress. At this point I was mining for more than an hour and I still couldn't find any diamonds. Using diamonds we'll be able to craft the most durable and efficient items in the game, as well as gain access to mining obsidian. With obsidian we'll be able to build a portal to the nether dimension. Gaining access to that dimension will unlock lots of new materials for us to use. But then, while digging these trenches, as I began to lose hope in finding any diamonds, I stumbled across this. Some diamonds, finally. Although I'm not going to use them right away, because I crafted a bunch of iron tools and now I'll have to use them or else they'll go to waste, I'm very glad that I found some diamonds, because I really wasn't going to stop mining until I found any. And it seems that my luck just increased exponentially, because it seems that now I keep finding more and more. Too bad I just don't have a Fortune 3 pickaxe. Fortune is a pickaxe enchant that gives a chance to multiply the orbs by 2, 3 or 4, so goodbye 3 diamonds, a lost opportunity, rip, but I'll make sure to enchant it as soon as possible. But now that we have diamonds, let's get out of here. And with these last iron bars that we just finished smelting, we are now ready to count our valuables. In this 1.5 hour mining session, we managed to get almost 2 stacks of iron, a little over 5.5 stacks of redstone dust and some gold, lapis and coal. And the last but not least, 9 shiny diamonds. Now let's put some of that iron to good use. Iron is used in lots of crafting recipes, and although you can find lots of it in the mine, it can be rapidly consumed. But now, we'll use part of these iron bars to craft ourselves some armor. Because protection is pretty handy to have, and to be honest, I'm pretty eager to put some decent equipment on me rather than having to wear these worn out rags. Okay, so I already made a smithing table. All we have to do now is to throw the necessary materials on it. Like this. And now we have to start working on it. Well, that took more than it seems, but it's done. Now it's time to put it on. Oh, and also, this is a unique armor just for me, so don't get mad if you can't replicate it. Okay guys, so I've put the armor on and I must say it looks pretty good. It's a fine craftsmanship, I might say. Are you ready to see it? Okay, take a look. So what do you think of it? Do you like it? I think it fits me very well. I mean, it's comfortable, looks good, it does offer protection as you can see, and it goes very well with my shield and sword. Now that I have this armor, I don't have to be that careful when fighting monsters. Of course, I'll still need to be cautious, but it won't be as difficult to handle them anymore. Now let's head to bed because it seems I've spent all day making the armor. Exquisite work takes time after all. Once we're done sleeping, I'll start clearing the area and meet you afterwards with another time lapse because it's finally time to build our starter house. And with that, our house is almost complete. I still have to do the interior, but don't worry, it will be done by the end of the episode. Right now I'm trying to figure out how to design a banner that looks okay. I actually never used banners in my builds, but I want to try and put them on this house and see how it looks. If I like it, it's possible I include them around the other buildings as well, and maybe I'll even put the design on my shield. Now if you are interested in copying my banner so you can have the same design as mine, then in this next part I'm going to show you how to do just that. First of all, you'll need to have a default white banner to work with. After that, you'll need some blue dye. Put them both in the loom, and for your first pattern, select the gradient. For the next step, you'll need to get your hands on a flower charge pattern. You can obtain that by combining a piece of paper with an oxide daisy flower. Then put your banner and the flower charge pattern in the loom along with some white dye. Then remove the flower charge pattern and replace the white dye with the blue dye and select the chevron pattern. After that, keep the blue dye and select the bordure pattern. And for the last one, you'll have to replace the blue dye with the white dye once again and select the cross pattern. And there you have it, the banner is finished. All that's left to do now is to multiply it so we can place it in more than one spot. Right, so with the banners done, we can move forward to hanging them around the house. But before that, I want to show you how I decorated the interior. As you can see, it doesn't look empty inside anymore. Right here I've made a sitting area with a table in the middle. I think it looks nice. Over there we've got the bedroom next to some nightstands. Then we have a desk with some storage and some decorations, and I changed the flower on this sill with this bush because it looks better. However, the thing I like the most in this upper floor is this nice window next to the bed, which I've left open to let all the fresh air come in from the lake. Downstairs I've made a furnace in the only logical place, and that's near the chimney, and the rest of the room I've left it for storage. Outside I've only made these stone paths coming to the house. And now, after showing you the interior, it's time to put these banners on the house and see how they look. Now let's place them here, and let's get down and take a few steps back. Yeah, well, that actually really looks nice. I'm keeping that. Now let's go to the back of the house and put the other two banners as well. I've made another sitting area and I've put some green plants next to the door. And downstairs I've put some barrels here and there just so it doesn't look empty. Now let's use some of that scaffolding once again to reach the window level and place the last two remaining banners. Now let's place them here and here. Okay, great, we are done now, so let's get down from here. And with the banners being placed, we are now reaching the end of the episode. In the next episode I think we'll search for a village, abduct a couple of villagers and start working on an iron farm, because we'll need iron for a lot of things. But for now it's time to end this episode. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.